Well, guys, it seems like the run of the quote unquote Maryland man, Kilmore Abrego Garcia, is coming to an end. Have you guys noticed that Democrats really aren't talking about him anymore? Maybe they actually realize that this is a losing cause. This man is MS-13. He's a gang member, and people are not going to believe the BS that we're actually telling about him. He's dangerous. The man is a human trafficker. He was in this country illegally. He's a Salvadorian citizen. But Abrego Garcia wanted to play games. He wanted to traffic human beings into this country. It's on video. And Democrats are running down there to El Salvador to get this illegal alien back. And it backfired. It completely backfired. Now, the Trump administration brought him back into the country to actually face charges of human trafficking. Like I said, guys, it's on video. And then, of course, you had this left-wing judge that tried to delay Kilmore Abrego Garcia from actually being deported to Uganda or Eswatini, I believe. But folks, it seems like time has now run out, because all that Abrego Garcia was really doing, guys, and his lawyers were delaying. It was a delay tactic, nothing more. Now, 2 judges have already said this man's MS-13 and he could be deported. At the time, they said, oh, he can't be deported to El Salvador because, he's an MS-13 gang member and pretty dangerous over there at the time. But we know that Bukele has cleaned up El Salvador. El Salvador is not dangerous like it once was. So he was sent back. And Abrego Garcia was talking about, oh, I'm being treated awful over here in El Salvador. Democrats are crying. But then we saw the images of him in prison in El Salvador. The man lost weight. He was healthy. Didn't look like he was in any danger whatsoever. He was living the good life. But folks, boy, we got some big news here on Abrego Garcia, because this man, he tried to say, hey, I can't be deported to these 20 plus countries because of who I am. Other words, I'm an MS-13 gang member and my life is in danger. Didn't work out that way for him. This man is trying everything possible to stay here in the United States. And folks, it's not going to happen, because his lawyers tried to actually reopen his, what do they call it? His immigration case. And he got some bad news here from a judge, folks. This is the end of Abrego Garcia. Let's get into it, guys. Here we go. Right over here on ABC News. Judge denies motion to reopen Kilmore Abrego Garcia's immigration case. Now, this man is actually trying to claim asylum now. He actually thought that since the Trump administration brought him back into the country, this would actually work. Newsflash, it didn't. The rulings of the 2 previous judges still stand that Abrego Garcia is MS-13 and he must be deported. Yeah, this completely backfired, guys, on him. Let's read this. It says, an immigration judge on Wednesday denied a motion filed by Kilmore Abrego Garcia's attorneys to reopen his immigration case, according to a copy of the decision obtained by ABC News. Now, ABC is going to try to pull the wrongfully deported thing. Nah, but anyway, I'm going to read it. In the emergency motion filed in August to reopen the case, attorneys for they put wrongfully deported Abrego Garcia, because they want to run cover for this illegal alien, guys, argued that because he was deported to El Salvador and then brought back to the United States, he is now eligible to apply for asylum within 1 year of his last entry into the U.S. Now, here's the thing, man. The only reason he was actually brought back to the U.S. is because he had to face charges for human trafficking. So they were taking it as, all right, I can actually apply for asylum now? What? You think that we're actually going to give asylum to a human trafficker? Nah, didn't work. Goes on. Says, but in the order filed on Wednesday, Regional Deputy Chief Immigration Judge Philip Taylor said that Abrego Garcia's motion to reopen his motion to seek asylum is untimely because he filed the motion nearly 6 years after his immigration proceedings beyond the 90-day deadline required. Yeah, because this man was deemed deportable by 2 judges back in 2019. Yeah. And I don't know why they actually thought this stunt was going to work. It didn't. Now, look at this here. This is pretty much a third judge saying, yeah, this dude can be deported. Judge Taylor also concluded there is insufficient evidence that the Department of Homeland Security has decided to remove Abrego Garcia to Uganda, Eswatini, or any other third country after the DHS sent Abrego Garcia's attorneys a notice in August saying the agency may deport their client to Uganda. Quote, the word may is permissive and indicates to the court that in sending this notification to respondents' counsel, the department sought to convey that it reserved the right to remove him to Uganda, not necessarily that it intended to do so, that it had decided to do so, or that it would do so intimately, Judge Taylor said. The immigration judge also said that evidence Abrego Garcia provided in his motion arguing for protection due to his fear that he will be tortured or killed by the Salvadorian government because he was labeled as an MS-13 gang member is insufficient. Yeah, you guys remember those clips, man, of Abrego Garcia, like I mentioned, in El Salvador. He wasn't being tortured. He was living a good life. Judge Taylor said that when Abrego Garcia was detained in El Salvador's Sicat mega prison, he was not subjected to, quote, the conditions described in his country conditions evidence, and added that Abrego Garcia indicated that he was not, quote, specifically singled out by Sicat guards before his mistreatment started or while it was taking place. Respondent does not indicate that the guards made any statements or otherwise indicated that they believe him or the other deportees to be gang members, so they do not appear to have inputted MS-13 gang memberships to him, Judge Taylor said. Notably, while prison officials interrogated respondent about his alleged gang membership and took pictures of his tattoos, they did not mistreat him during the interrogation. Yeah. And by the way, guys, over here, Homeland Security put out this post, man. Yeah, it's over for Abrego Garcia. It is over. They put out, with today's ruling, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's final order of removal stands. This MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, domestic abuser, and child predator will never be loose on American streets. Yeah, he's never getting out. His lawyers tried to fight his removal from the U.S., but one thing is certain. This Salvadorian man is not going to be able to remain in our country. He will never be allowed to prey on innocent Americans again. Never forget the Democrats flew to a foreign land on the U.S. taxpayers' dime to break bread with this terrorist gang member and visit him in prison. While they continue to fight for criminal illegal aliens, we will continue to put the safety of the American people first. Yeah. I mean, boy. I mean, they're out of options, if you ask me. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but it definitely seems like they're out of options. They're getting denied left and right on this whole asylum thing. Yes. Why in the world would you actually apply for asylum just because the U.S. brought you back into the country to arrest you and make you actually stand for charges on human trafficking? Now, guys, will that trial actually happen? I don't know. But one thing's for certain, man. This guy needs to get out of our country and get out fast. Now, we know that that left-wing judge just did a delay tactic. That's it. I mean, the Trump administration only had to give 72 hours to actually indicate his lawyers that they were deporting him. And it's been well over 72 hours. Now, will some left-wing judge try another tactic? Probably. But at this point, guys, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Get this guy out of this country, man. Get him out of this country. If they still want to have a trial, they can work out something with Uganda and have like a teleconference with his lawyers. The man does not need to be here. And last time I checked, guys, they actually moved him to Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. But guys, that seems to be the end of the quote unquote Maryland man. This seems to be the end. Even Democrats are not talking about this guy anymore. Yeah, they got a whole bunch of backlash, guys. A whole bunch of backlash. Because they're running down there to El Salvador, running to see this guy. Boy, they love every single criminal. But yet, these Democrats don't love Americans. They love the dangerous criminals that harm and kill Americans. You notice how Democrats don't want to mention the families of Americans that have actually been harmed by illegal aliens. No, they don't want to do that. They're standing up for the criminals. And this is why they're so unpopular. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.